Eventually, I was out the door, walking towards Naomi's car with Naomi and Suzu. Suzu grabbed the entire back seat as I took the passenger side. Naomi started the car and we drove off towards the city. It was nice driving out with my friends. After all that had happened, it was just good to go out and forget my troubles.
Well, since we got you out of the house, we might as well go to the mall and walk around a bit. We did just eat breakfast after all.
Well, yeah, but that was a super good meal, though, right?
Could have had more flavor, in my opinion.
Suzu, you eat chili peppers when you're bored. Everything you eat always needs more flavor.
But chili peppers are good. You need to teach me, Suzu. I still can't get over that, Suzu. I mean, I eat the little bell peppers all the time. They're like little baby bell peppers, and they're super delicious and good snacks, and they're healthy. So, I'm sorry, Naomi, but...
Well, you need to teach
You just
me,
need to eat spicy
Suzu.
food all the time. You gotta tame your mouth.
Tame? Oh, that sounds like an innuendo.
Tame your mouth. Really, Suzu?
Oh, that sounds really difficult.
Anyways, after the mall, what do you want to do? We could go to the Pink Lady Cafe and chill out with Kay. I'm sure she'd love the company.
But we have to stop by the arcade. They have this new game out called Orion. You get to control this guy named Isaku, and you're part of the rebel forces, and you get to shoot things, and there's robots, and...
And it's Star Wars? Wait, what? Did they rip Star Wars? I'm pretty sure they did.
Sheesh, we get it, Suzu, we get it. We'll go to the arcade.
Well, which one first, though? I mean, you guys know how popular Kay is. I'm sure she'll be swamped with customers later in the day.
I'd rather go in the late afternoon. She has better options during the last hour of the cafe.
So basically after the arcade?
You figured me out so quickly, Patterson.
What did I tell you about using my last name?
Well, let's go to the cafe, the arcade. Well, clearly we're going to the arcade.
So we headed off to the mall and walked around for a good amount of time before driving out to Moonfall Arcade. Alright. Sounds like a Sailor Moon arcade, but cool. So we headed out to the mall and walked around for a good amount of time before heading out to Moonfall Arcade. As a weird name as it sounded, the arcade was one of the best in the city. Kids and teenagers lined the games, watching the players at the consoles as they anxiously waited their turn.
Oh, there it is! There it is!
Suzu grabbed Naomi and me by the hand before dragging us into the section of the arcade where a bunch of kids had gathered in awe and excitement. In the middle of the crowd was a large game with 2 joystick platforms and a screen that flashed the name Orion every other second. She looked so happy to be here.
Aw, I'm so glad we made you happy, Suzu.
In the background of the screen, a holographic playfield glimmered before us, revealing a neo-futuristic battlefield and enemy robots charging at the camera.
This is the game you were excited about?
It sounds pretty cool. I mean,
it looks really cool. Me and Butts are just on the same page.
That's right! And I'm gonna play it so hard I'll beat the game in one shot.
I'm gonna play a game so hard. Suzu smirked and looked at me, hoping that I would join her as I usually did for partner games. I looked to Naomi, who merely rolled her eyes, crossed her arms, and gave me the okay nod. I grinned before nodding to Suzu, who cheered in joy.
Woohoo! Alright, let's do this.
She's so cute. It took us a good half hour before we could step up to the platforms. The point of the game was to beat the government and restore freedom to the general public. We played Rebels and a Robot. The game quickly became a smash and bash game versus multiple number of robot enemies. Playing with Suzu is always an adventure. We both know what our strengths and weaknesses are, so it's easy to collaborate with each other. It wasn't long before we got into the swing of the game, and we were beating enemies like crazy. By the time we got to the boss, we were unstoppable. It was so refreshing to beat the boss and put our 3-letter code names in the high score list.
And that is how you game. We are unstoppable, Anderson.
Suzu gave me a large smile, which made me smile back. I was happy to be able to hang out and have fun with my friends like this. I felt free from worries or responsibilities. It was something I loved. We eventually lost track of time and wound up staying longer than we expected, making us unable to stop by the cafe before going home to dress for the housewarming party. Oh no, I want to know who Kay is. So we drove back. Naomi and Suzu picked up their clothes and other necessities from their house before driving back to the mansion. The hour of the house party had arrived. In my mind, I kept double-checking and triple-checking the essentials for the party. Knowing my dad, he invited his business partners and the executives of the Anderson Company to show me off. I stood in front of my mirror in my room, staring at my form as a million thoughts ran through my mind. It was just a housewarming party, but at the same time, it really wasn't. It was my chance to show my dad that I was better than his expectations. It was my chance for my parents to see me as a woman. It was my test to see if I was really ready to live on my own. Well, not truly alone. I had the incubi to thank, but even so, I didn't have my dad guiding me or my mom helping me through living alone. A knock on my door broke my thoughts, surprising me.
Well, who is it?
Hey, are you okay in there? Your parents should be here soon, so you should hurry getting ready.
Oh, well, I'm ready, but...
But what? I'm sure you look fine, Anderson. Just come on out.
Well, all right.
Oh, you're so cute! Oh, and I'm so hot. As soon as I opened the door to the hall, I watched as Naomi and Suzu's faces turned from smiles to complete awestruck stares. Yeah, ladies.
What?
Dude, you look hot.
Yeah! I knew Suzu would be down.
Yeah, you look amazing. Where did you get that dress?
I've had it for a while. I just never thought I'd have a chance to wear it. I figured I might as well bring it out now.
Ugh, so many hot boys. I stepped out of my room and closed my bedroom door behind me. As I walked down the hall to the grand lobby, the incubi stood waiting for me at the bottom, all dressed to the nines as proper servants.
Whoa, they really know how to dress well, don't they?
Yeah, they definitely do.
I was slightly taken aback about how great the boys look in their uniform. Each had poise of a perfect gentleman, even Sam. I slowly began to climb down the steps with Suzu and Naomi behind me. The boys watched as I descended the staircase one step at a time. Like knights waiting for their princess, I felt my face slightly flush, but I quickly shook my head to try to regain my thoughts. As I reached the last step, James offered his hand to me and walked down the final step, smiling.
As beautiful as a princess, miss.
Oh, well, thank you.
So, are you prepared for tonight?
I'm so ready, to be honest, no. As ready as I'll ever be. I feel I should have saved. I didn't save last time. We're almost using up all our slots, too. What would you like? What do you want from me? What this? What are you, do you want me to be ready? Let's, maybe you want me to be ready. I had to be confident in my skills. My dad expected a lot out of me already. If I faltered at this party, who knows what he would think of me. I had to assure myself that every word that came out of my mouth, that I was ready. The other boys smiled assuringly at me, which made me feel a little bit better about everything. I looked at my phone and marked the time. Almost right on cue, the doorbell rang. I gulped. I could practically feel my dad's aura from behind the door. Sam and Eric quickly rushed to the door and opened the double doors wide to reveal my parents, both dressed in their best.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
Oh my, I didn't know your bequeathment came with servants.
It was probably overlooked. Besides, who would deny good service?
I was completely shocked. My parents didn't even question the boys. They didn't even ask for verification or anything. I looked at the boys and noticed Sam and Eric staring intently at my parents. Were they using their powers on them? They had to be. There's no way they'd be okay with this otherwise.
I guess the servants counted as belongings to the house.
My mother quickly rushed and gave me a large hug. I hugged her back, inhaling her perfume. It had only been a couple of days, but living away from the ones who raised me was hard. My mother soon let go and looked at my outfit.
Gorgeous. You look so lovely. David, look at your daughter and tell her I'm right.
My dad looked at me, who was looking around the lobby like an inspector. I stood my ground, waiting for him to look at me, and when he did, he let a small smile grace his lips.
Your mother's right. You look like you're all grown up.
The world around me stopped as my heart pounded hard in my chest. Did my dad just compliment me? On his own accord? My mother was grinning from ear to ear at his words. I was beyond speechless.
Well, thanks, Dad.
I'm not calling you Daddy. No. However, his face turned... Oh, man, it's because it said Daddy. Should know butts. However, his face quickly returned as he began to look around once again.
I assume that you're ready, then, to impress the rest of the guests, correct?
Well, what do you mean?
The entire board from Anderson Toys is coming tonight. Even the vice chairman's son will be coming. All of them will be measuring your potential.
What, my potential?
To become CEO of the company.
I knew it. Something was off about tonight. Now this party had become much more than I anticipated. I gulped silently, but nodded in response. I looked to the incubi, but they were continuing to be servants for my father's approval. I looked behind me and saw Naomi and Suzu raise their thumbs at me for encouragement. I let out a small breath before feeling my body accept the situation. I felt a weight in my gut, but I had to hide it. Time zoomed forward. All of a sudden, the main hall of the lobby was full of guests. Men and women in formal or business attire showed up to meet me and see my new home. I didn't expect many to come, but was once again surprised at the night. I shook hands with many officials and executive members, putting on a professional face my dad had trained me to have, but I hid it well behind a smile and handshake. Many even asked me questions. I tried my best to reply as maturely as possible. I had to remember, say what they want to hear, not what you want to say.
So, how do you feel living on your own at such a young age?
Oh my god, why are there so many options? It was difficult being independent. I wish I was living with my... No, we definitely don't need to say that. I'm doing my best.
I'm so sorry about your grandfather
my
passing
God.
away. It really hit
Oh
all
shit,
of us
is it
hard.
timed? Oh god. Thank you?
Do you have college plans?
I guess? Oh god. College, I don't need that. Yes, I do. Okay. Oh my god, there's so many questions. I didn't know they were timed. I felt like the questions kept coming up one after another. It was tough to answer some of them because they weren't about me. They were about the company.
What do you think will happen with the company now that your grandfather has passed?
It'll get back on track soon. Don't ask me. I have no freaking clue. I don't really care. It'll
What do you
get back
think
on
of
track
the
soon.
philanthropic policy the company has?
I don't even know what the policy is. If it were up to me, yeah?
Do you think the company should expand from just toys?
Oh god. It's a toy company. Why? This one. Eventually the questions stopped and I was back to being myself. Naomi and Suzu were mingling in the crowd, the incubi were doing their jobs, so I was alone in a room full of strangers. It was unnerving to think about, but at least I wasn't being questioned left and right anymore. Suddenly, though, my mom pushed her way through the crowd to me, bringing along someone I didn't know.
Honey, I'd like to introduce you to someone. This kind gentleman is the son of the vice chairman.
I know what you're doing, Mom. He looks kind of stoned, but that's fine. With my mother stood a man who looked only a couple years older than me. He smiled and held out his hand to me, silently asking for my hand.
Hi, I'm Andrew Lewis. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Anderson.
Oh, you're so polite. Place your hand in his. Simply nod at him. Oh, sweet baby, I'm so sorry. We've already dedicated ourselves to like 2 other dudes. Andrew was slightly taken aback, but gently smiled and lowered his hand with a nod in return. Mom's like, I didn't raise you right. My mother smiled at both of us, which made me slightly concerned. Why is she excited to introduce me to Andrew?
So, you organized this party very well, Miss Anderson.
Dots. Thanks.
You're welcome. Praise is very much deserved.
Andrew chuckled nervously, bringing a soft fist to his lips to cover his laugh properly before smiling at me.
I'm sorry if I seem a little forward. I've just been excited to meet Harold Anderson's granddaughter.
Why?
He used to talk about you all the time in the office on how you helped him refine his toys. I only attended meetings and heard all of the stories. You've helped a lot with the success of the company without having to actually work there.
Oh, wow, I didn't know he talked about me that much.
That would explain everyone's fascination with me and their rather personal questions. I looked to Andrew, who had a kind face to me. Something about him seemed off. I didn't know what it was. He seemed like he was hiding something, whether it was good or bad. I was not able to find out. I felt someone walk up behind me, causing me to turn to them. Next to me was my dad, giving his cold stare to Andrew, who suddenly became pretty tense.
So, you're Jared's son.
Andrew's body twitched slightly. Whether it was fear or insult, Andrew locked eyes with my father. I couldn't help but feel the tension between them. It irked me how fragile the air had become, enough to break it the wrong word.
You're the one who wants to be the next CEO of the Anderson Company.
Oh, you want to take my job, son?
Well,
Glad I didn't flirt with you. I stared at Andrew. This guy wanted to take my grandfather's place as CEO? I thought the vice chairman wanted that position.
David, leave the poor boy alone.
I'm merely testing the boy's conversational skills. Nothing wrong with that.
of course not, sir.
And polite as well. Interesting.
If you'll excuse me.
Everyone's face just looks so... They're just like... I'm just like, yeah, this is a super awkward conversation. And everyone's just like, mm-hmm. Quickly, Andrew retreated from my family into the crowd of people. I don't blame him. Stay put, follow him. Crap. I mean, I feel like we need to start saving over these. There we go. Follow him. I quickly followed Andrew, wanting to make sure he was alright. I felt a little bit embarrassed that my dad had put him on the spot like that, and I had to apologize. I wound up outside. The stars practically danced on the grass as we stood in the backyard of the mansion. It had been the first time in many years being out there, but my thoughts weren't on the nostalgia.
Hey, Andrew.
Andrew turned to me in surprise. However, his face was completely red in both embarrassment and humiliation. I felt terrible.
Oh, I didn't see you or hear you following. Sorry.
Poor thing.
Oh, no, it's fine. I should be the one apologizing.
What for? You didn't do anything wrong.
I mean, for the way my dad behaved, he shouldn't have been so...
Oh, no, it's fine. I mean, I should have expected it and been more prepared.
Andrew rubbed the back of his neck, gave a goofy grin. It was intriguing, seeing Andrew's professional side and then seeing a goofy smile away from everyone.
Well, still, I'm sorry for that.
It's not a problem, really, but thank you.
We both smiled at each other, before I reached my hand out to him, he tilted his head and raised his eyebrow in confusion.
Well, Butts, my name is Butts.
Why did I name her this? This is gonna just make every conversation beautiful. And understanding, his smile returned before he took my hand gently and shook it.
That's a pretty name. I'm happy to know it now.
Well, no, it's not that nice. What are we talking about? It's wonderful.
I have to disagree with you. It's much better than Andrew. I mean, who names their kid Andrew?
Who would name their kid Butts?
A lot of people do.
But how about Axel or Ace? Something cool like that.
You are not a video. Oh, well. Kinda. Yeah. Never mind. I couldn't help but laugh at him. He was pretty chill for a guy who was supposed to be the vice chairman's son. He grinned and laughed along with me. I don't know why, but I felt warm. Whether it was the almost non-existent breeze or the situation we found ourselves in, it felt nice.
Lewis.
Who's Lewis? And just like that, the feeling had vanished. We both turned to see my dad at the doors of the mansion, staring at Andrew with an almost deadly glare. Andrew straightened up, trying to maintain a business posture.
Yes, sir?
Your limo is in the front. The driver has requested that you return home. Now.
Oh, all right. Thank you, sir.
Oh, we're gonna get scolded again. Crap. Andrew quickly nodded to me before speeding back into the mansion to leave. As I took a step to follow, my dad stepped in front of me.
Oh, Dad.
I don't want to hear it. Do not become friendly with him. He wants to take the company away from us. You have no reason to be friends with him.
Before I could retort, my dad turned away and walked back inside, muttering about how the party was nearing the end. I sighed and entered the house as well, wanting for the party to end immediately. Eventually, only Suzu and Naomi and my parents and the incubi were left. My dad suddenly walked over and placed his hand on my shoulder with a smile. I stared up at him, a wave of confusion washing over my face.
Well, what?
You did good tonight. I'm proud.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
Keep it up and you'll be a good CEO.
Oh, right.
All right. Your mother and I have to leave. I'm sure Naomi and Suzu need to leave as well. Just because it's Saturday doesn't mean you should stay up all night.
I'm gonna party all night long.
Oh, right.
Thanks for having us. It was a great party.
We'll come visit tomorrow or something. All right?
All right. See ya.
Good night, sweetie. Come visit us soon.
Will do.
All 4 of the remaining guests left the building, but my dad waved back to me. All but my dad waved back to me. With the last of the guests gone, I sighed and sat on the staircase exhausted.
Ugh, that was so tiring.
It's not like you had to do any work, though.
No, shut up. You don't know my life.
Give her a break, man. She was getting interrogated left and right.
She handled herself the best she could.
Thank you.
As expected, princess.
No.
Since you're exhausted, why not head to bed? We can clean up.
Ugh.
Deal with it, Sam.
Hush, Sam.
Well, are you guys sure?
Positive. It shouldn't take long.
Ho ho ho! It didn't take long to find you little shits after all.
I felt a hot shudder run down my spine. The voice from my dreams echoed through the air into my ears. I looked around, panicked, along with the incubi. James placed a hand on my shoulder, trying to remain calm.
Don't worry. No one will hurt you.
Are you sure? Are you really sure?
All of us shot our heads towards the door, finally pinning down the direction of the voice. The doors quickly swung open, revealing a sight that I would never expect to see. Skin red as blood, eyes black and gold piercing into mine, roughened up clothes and a pistol in hand. I saw a monster. Oh, and he had a hot girlfriend, too. I covered my mouth and tried not to scream at the sight. Dried blood covered the bandana around his neck as he smirked at me and the boys around me. Beside the red-skinned man was a similar-looking woman in matching thug-like clothes.
Oh, what's the matter, boys? You really didn't think I wouldn't find you, did you?
I hoped you would, you piece of...
All of a sudden, the man raised his gun at Sam's face and instantly pulled the trigger.